in many ways, when you get to a point on a project and you've been mocking things up and so forth, it's hard to figure out where to go next. Today, I'm going to share my thinking with you on that, and we're going to be diving back into Fundestruct. What we're doing is something that's important. Is it mission critical to where we're at on the project now? No. But the things that I need to do means I need to tear the whole front end back off the truck and start working on motor mounts. And I need the visual encouragement to be able to look at this where it's at for a while yet. It's been this way for about 2 weeks now. And I also am still planning and plotting the box build for this. Plus, I'm looking at the fenders and how they lay out and what I'm going to need to do to get this wrinkly tinfoil stuff figured out. And so today, we're going to be doing something else completely because it's important. Maybe not important right now, but it's something I can do without disturbing everything else that's going on. Stick around. I'm Mike. You are watching My Car Shop. If you remember from back when we had this on the body cart, the cab is twisted just like me, and we need to be able to pull the cab up into square so the doors will somewhat align properly. Now I know we've got issues. It doesn't matter whether the hinges are tight or solid yet. We can get this cab square simply by looking at the body line here, the body line here, the body line here. When we pull this cab properly, this line will naturally come up into place. Yes, we can pick the door up a little bit, but we know that our cab right now is like this, and we need to pull it like this. That side's even worse. I'm only looking for a ballpark right now. I know we got to fix the door and the hinges, and we got all kind of stuff to do, but I want to get the cab reasonably square because one thing hinges, that's funny, hinges on another. So the first thing we need to do is get the back window out of this thing because that will make our life a whole lot easier for us to start bracing and pulling, or pulling and bracing. I don't know, something. I think probably the place to start in here is to just get this headliner pulled out of here. It doesn't look like fun at all, but it's got to be done. So how do I do that? Okay, guess we do it like that. Oh, we got all kind of stuff up there, rat's nests and yuck. So that'll be good. Yuck. Here's something squeaking. I hope it's not a rat. I'm sure the cats would have eaten a rat by now. Okay, good. Our headliner's out. We can be able to access this dent now, too, and get that out of there. What a mungy mess. But I want to get distracted. So that's going to be great. Screws are already rotted off on a lot of it. That'll make life easier. Now, let's get our screw gun. Looking for the mice? Looking for the rats? Huh? Yeah, there you go. Want to get up in here and look? Here you go, Thing. Take a look. Where's Monster? Oh, he's sleeping on the chair. Okay, you look around, and I'll be back. I'm guessing these screws are going to just, like, rip right off. But you never know. Be dipped. Okay, that one's not coming. We're going to have to drill them out. But I got some of them out, which surprised me. probably need to make a new one of these, but I like to save it as much as I can. So, yeah, we'll get it out of there. All right, I'll be back. Well, I tried everything I could think of to drill those out, and they're harder than a hard thing. So we're going to do the right thing, just try to pry them out. So, yeah, that one's coming. So I think I can get that one now with pliers. So let me get that one out, and well, you know, I'll come back when I get this further along. But I threw a whole bunch of drill bits at it, and it did nothing. So I don't know if those screws are so hard or what's going on, but I'm just trying to salvage the piece for a pattern more than anything. So however we get it out of there without destroying it is really all that matters. That's right. He said it. The granddaddy of them all. Gratuitous Gene Shepherd insert right there. But I dropped it and broke off the corner, but it's still going to be all right for a pattern for a new glass. I was being so careful, I had a hold of the corner, and I didn't realize that I had a hold of the gasket, not a hold of the glass. And of course, you saw what happened. That sucks. But it's okay. I still have a pattern that's workable, so we can extrapolate. The glass shop is really good about that. The pieces down there, I don't know. We got pieces of glass here that don't even know about. Well, look at, there's part of it there. So I don't know. We're going to set this aside and pretend we didn't do any of that or see any of that. Everything else just looks like little bitty pieces. We're all right. I've got the windshield frame, the window frame, and the old glass, enough for a pattern. So good enough, but just one of those frustrating things. So if you look at our body line here now, it's not bad. It's down a little bit. The cab on this side is pretty decent. Our line here is actually fairly straight. So what that means is then again, the cab needs to twist this way just a little bit so that this will rise up a little bit more, because right now it's really not in the hinges. No, because our line is pretty straight. So yeah, hinges are screwed. We know that. Again, ballparking, right? So I'm just pulling the door up a little bit. If I crank that up more, our line up here is going to get wonky. Right now you can see that our line up here starts narrow here and gets wider as it goes this way. Our line here is perfect. So that tells me that the cab, in order to get this door to raise up more, the cab needs to come this way. So that's what I knew. The other side, I don't know what happened when we put this on the chassis. Something twisted. So we got to take a look at that. But I'm pleased with this so far. So let's go see what we can do on the other side and figure out what's going on. Again, know that we have no hinges at all down on this side. All right, I know that. That's not the point here. So the first thing is, you can see this whole side of the cab has spread. I don't know how that happened. And I tried pulling it together, and I realized what it was doing was pulling this mount down here where the frame piece that we put in temporarily is. So that's not going to work. So what I need to do here is go in here and cut this weld, and then that'll free this back up, I hope, to move so that we can pull this forward without messing things up there. So yeah, I thought I had that cut already, but I guess I didn't. So that's something that happened. The door won't even really shut, but you can see our line here yeah, the bottom of the door needs to go up, and we'll do that here in just a second. And the door needs to go back, and I get that too. But our line here is a little on the high side, and I think if we, again, pull the cab that way, but also pull it this way, some of this is going to take care of itself. We've got to fill about an inch here, and most of that, this is the line that I believe more, which is like a little over a quarter of an inch. So that down here is just simply in the bottom needing to suck in. But let's get a clamp, same thing, squeeze this up and see what we got. Probably use this one here. Oops. There we go. Okay. So our line here is not bad. Our line here is good. Obviously down there we're spread. Our line here now actually is good. So it's a little bit wide down here. And again, if we're trying to get out of your way, if we're twisting this cab forward like this, that's going to raise the back of this door up. It's also going to tighten this up a little bit. Of course, we got to build all of that. And I'm not looking to make it perfect. I know I may have to tweak it, but I need to get it close. So I think the place to start, I'm going to tighten down this front temporary brace that we put in, cab mount, and then try to cut this weld and try to pull this bottom in so it's closer. That's going to be a place to start. Look at how much better that is now. So I don't know how that happened, but it definitely happened. So now our front line is, yeah, that's really screwed up, but that's okay. Why did that do that? I don't know. We'll figure that out in a minute. Let's get this door pulled up in place if we can. There we go. A little more. So here's the thing. I know some of this is because this is swollen. We got a job of work to do there. Our body line is close. We're a little bit there. We're a lot bit there, which again has to do with that cab tip that I was talking about. So if we were to tip the cab forward, what's going to happen is this is going to raise up a little bit, but this is also going to pull in better. Now let's see if I can. Yeah, so we got to figure out now how we want to pull the cab and make it like it should be. Looks like it definitely needs a little bit more on this side. Probably the bottom needs to pull in just a bit more. Let's do that real quick. Here we go. Okay, I see what's going on here. I flipped that hinge around so that the door would stay open. Caused myself an issue. There, let's get rid of it completely. Get out of there. Oh, get out of there. Okay, I don't know where it went, but it's gone. Okay, good. Our gap is normal up there now. Quarter inch, a little tight. Close enough. In order to get this up where it needs to be, we're going to have an interference problem up here. I got to think about that a little bit. But our line here actually isn't bad. We can fudge that a little bit in body work. Crap, sorry. We can fudge. You got to remember that 1939, I seriously doubt the body lines on this were perfect from the factory, but we're close. I'd like to see this door that way just a little bit. Will I need to do some massaging? Absolutely, I will, but we're close. So I think the next thing I need to just try to wrap my head around is how am I going to pull the cab this way? And I think what makes sense is to take one of my big yellow straps and put it out the back window hole and down to the inner structure here and just tweak it. I had done that before over the firewall and over the roof and down and pulled it when it was on the cart. I don't think I ever did that on camera, but let me get one of the big yellow straps and see what we can do. My concern is we don't have a lot of support here, so I just got to think about it a little bit. Okay, so I've got it pulled in place. It's not ideal, but I got a flexible piece of wood in here. Yes, it's pulling the window in a little bit, but I got all kinds of work to do to straighten that out. What I did didn't cause any damage. But point is, our door gap, while it's a little bit tight on the bottom, it's a little wide on the top. We're hardly pulling this at all, and our hinge down here is walked. So we know that if we go back down here, this will raise up more. We're probably going to need to spread the bottom of this cab out just a little bit. Let's go to the other side, see what we got over there. It's tight on the top, but we also have to remember this roof on this side is down. So some of that will be raised up and that will help. Our gap here actually is pretty darn good. We're still a little bit on the high side. So as this comes down here, that's going to also increase our gap across the top. So that's good. Our line in the back is not bad. I mean, it's a rat rod truck. We're not trying to do a Pebble Beach car here. So, yeah, I think my thinking is sound. So I'm pleased with that. Yes, I have a whale of a job of work to do on this. And the way to do this without hinges, to get that cab where I want it, I need to pull the hinges out and weld the door to the body, probably in 4 places, and then massage the body of the cab to get everything lined up the way I want it, get the roof taken care of, then cut the welds off on the door, repair the hinges, get the door to fit back properly, and everything should be copacetic. Probably before I do any of that, I need to get that roof banged out and more in line, because I can see as I've been mucking around with it, it's even wonkier. My intent is not to put this seam back in. My intent is to put a strip across here, cut and butt it in, which means we got to get that out of there. But anyway, we're going to cut and butt that in and just eliminate that completely. But we got to bang that roof back out, so we'll probably do that soon. But let me share some more of my philosophizing here on this. Yeah, just a sec. There are a few channels that I watch besides my friends' channels that you'll see often listed in the videos. I try to keep up with my friends, but there's a couple of channels that I watch. I'm not going to say who it was. It's a pretty big, not multi-million viewer channel, but it's a pretty big channel for a fabricator. He does mostly old school stuff like this. And I was just recently watching one of his older episodes, and he had a cab that was not anywhere near this bad, and he said the cab was beyond repair. Fine, I get it. He was scrapping it out, stripping it out, because he felt it was beyond repair. It was not anywhere near as bad as this one. I was like, oh, don't do that. It'll be so easy to fix. But I also understand where he's coming from. He also tackles other things that I would go, oof, that one's probably beyond me. Do I think that repair was beyond him? No. What I do think was he didn't feel it was worth his time because of what it was. There probably are plenty of those available, and it wasn't worth the time. Better to use that one for parts for better stuff. Okay, got it. I like the challenge. Okay. You know that about me. I really enjoy the challenge of taking on projects that others have deemed beyond repair. Is this going to be perfect? No, I don't care. It's a rat rod. I want it safe, I want it fun, and I want it done. Those are our three criteria here. And it's such a cool truck. Yeah, I know there are other 39 to 47 Dodge pickups out there. 39 is kind of its unique beast. The grill is, there's some things about it that are unique to 39 only. Could I get a newer one and put the 39 front end on it? Yeah, I could do that. I just like the challenge of this. There's all kinds of reasons I won't go into right now, including, I think, honoring the people that got it to me so that I could do the project rather than just basically stripping it down and using a nose. Actually, using everything I have here to try to put it back together again, I think is very, very important as my way of honoring the people who felt that this was a project that I could take on and they wanted to make sure that I got it instead of continuing to let it rot out in the woods. So that's an integrity thing for me, but I mean, I know they would understand if I said this thing is beyond, but it's not. It's not at all. So that's part of the challenge. Yeah, this thing is, I mean, when we took it off, if you remember, this thing was flopping all over the place. And when I put those bottom braces in, it was just to stabilize it to get it on the cart so we could get the frame gone so that my neighbor could get the frame for his project that he's working on. So where I want to be on this right now is just I'm going to leave it like this for a while. I want to come out and look at it more and analyze it more. And at some point here, sooner than later, probably for integrity's sake, before I lift this cab off, I do want to go ahead and get these doors. I got to get the hinges broke loose on this side as far as getting the pins out or cutting them or whatever I got to do. That side I already did. And I messed up my pin puller, by the way, doing that side. So I probably should fix that too. But get this door so it fits exactly, so the body lines are exactly around, and then weld tabs on here, both sides, so that our gap is good all the way around. Before I do that, I need to bang the roof out. I don't need to necessarily get this repaired, but I do need to get it much more stabilized. So that means we're going to have to probably go in here and remove that header that's up there. So there's a lot more coming on this. And it's important, even though it's not working on the chassis and all that stuff. I still think this is important work to get done before I remove the cab and put it back on the cart. So there's a method to my madness. That's my point. That's the reason I'm doing this today. Plus, as I said, I like the visual encouragement of coming out here and seeing this thing kind of morphing back into something it never was, because it was a 1-ton farm truck and then with a dump box on it. So anyway, that's where we're at. All right. It's the challenge of taking on something where you have really nothing to work with. Remember, we don't have the original chassis anymore. We got rid of it. Would that have mattered on this? Not really. We don't have any cab structure, so to speak of. Nothing. There's no cab mounts that we're working from. There's no inner structure that we're working from. We got nothing. We're just grabbing a handful of rust, not even a handful of air, just a handful of rust, and then working from that to try to build a truck. I love it. I love it. I'm working on right now, seeing that the cab is probably a little twisted. I was playing with that. I put another Cleco in here because the hood kept flopping around. The front end is still probably a little twisted. That's all figure outable. And when we go to put this together, we will get that all figured out and in place and so forth. Right now, we're just ballparking. So I'm going to stick with my plan to get the cab solidified so that we can take it back off, set it back on the cart, and then we can make that its own project. We can even get the chassis done. And if we don't have the cab done at that point, we can roll the chassis out of here into the back room, get it out of the way, have the cab in here and have plenty of room to work on it, get fenders and all that stuff put together. So we got lots to do. I want to get the motor bolted in, get it fired up, get it running, etc., etc. But yeah, we got a lot to do, but that's the fun of it. So, all right, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you being here. We have channel memberships for as little as $5 a month. You can check that out. We give access to behind-the-scenes content as well as early access and previews to a lot of episodes that we put out. Plus, there's just other special posts and stuff. that go on for those who are paying channel members. We appreciate you being here. And one more thing, it's really important, and I don't want you to forget.